Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. हम सब अभय चलना ग्रंथ राम भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 42. त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती। त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती। त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती। मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती। त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती। त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती। त्वयि मेनन्य विषया रतिम् मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती। त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् रतिम् उद्वहता दद्धा गंगे वौघम् उदन्वती। Word to word meaning. Tvai, unto you. Me, my. Ananya Vishaya, unalloyed. Matir, attention. Madhupate, O Lord of Madhu. Asakrit, continuously. Ratim, attraction. Udvahata, may overflow. Adha, directly. Ganga, the Ganges. Iva, like. Ogham, flows. Udanvati, down to the sea. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. Please repeat. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. For what? Perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affections does not mean complete negation of the finer elements like affection for someone else. This is not possible. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is the symptom of life. The symptoms of life, such as desire, anger, anchorings, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated, but in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of only for the service of the only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc., consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, we see that Arjuna desired not to fight with his brothers and relations just to satisfy his own personal desires. But when he heard the message of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he changed his decision and served the Lord. And for his doing so, he became a famous devotee of the Lord. For it is declared in all the scriptures that Arjuna attained spiritual perfection by devotional service to the Lord in friendship. The fighting was there, the friendship was there, Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there. But Arjuna became a different person by devotional service. Therefore, the prayers of Kunti also indicate the same categorical changes in activities. Srimati Kunti wanted to serve the Lord without diversion, and that was her prayer. This unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non godly or not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed into the service of the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, it is called pure, unalloyed devotional service. Srimati Kunti Devi wanted that perfection and prayed for it from the Lord. Her affection for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis is not out of the range of devotional service because the service of the Lord and the service of the devotees are identical. Sometimes service to the Lord is more valuable than service to the Lord. Sometimes service to the devotee is more valuable than service to the Lord. But here the affection of Kunti Devi for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis was due to family relation. This tie of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya because the relations of the body or the mind are due to the influence of the external energy. Relations of the soul established in relation with the Supreme Soul are factual relations. When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant to cut off the relation of the skin. The skin relation is a cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. The relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with the supreme soul or the super soul. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing, but seeing by the light of the sun means to see the sun and everything else which was unseen in the darkness. That is the way of devotional service. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas here, Vaishnavis also. For my own purification, I would try to share whatever knowledge I have. And primarily, this will be preaching to myself. So, and in the process, if it is helping others, it's an advantage. So, this is the last second verse in the prayers of Queen Kunti, where she's saying, "Vai me ananya vishaya matir madhupate sakrat pratim udvahata dadha gange vaugham udanpat." So she is saying that let my mati, let my consciousness be, directed towards you, remembering you, glorifying you, and it should be ananya, like the other day, Prendra Prabhu was saying, na anya iti ananya. So not anything else, but only and only the Supreme Lord, Ananya Vishaya. So we see how uh, the reference to Ganges, the flowing of Ganges is given here, how it is unhindered and constantly flowing towards the sea for millions and millions of years. In the same way, eternally, asakrit. Asakrit means not just for some moment, but forever. He's praying that, I constantly try and remember you. So, and also the Lord is, like as Srila Prabhupada says in one of his Vyasa Puja offerings. Absolute, what is that? Absolute sentient, thou has proved impersonal calamity, thou has removed. So the Supreme Lord is actually supremely sentient being. So the Lord has emotions, and he is hankering for the Jiva's love. So he is eager for that emotional relationship, that affectionate relationship, which the Lord is hankering. Devotional service is actually called as bhakti. Bhakti is based on bhava. Bhava means emotion. So without emotion, uh, we will not be able to relate to the Supreme Lord. And emotion cannot simply arise just like that. Until we do not know who the Lord is, until we do not develop that relationship, our emotions are also not strong. So today I wanted to speak about the emotion, the emotion and the affectionate relationship one can have with the Supreme Lord and the devotees. So in the purport, it is mentioned that the symptoms of life, such as desire, hankering, anger, feelings of attraction, they cannot be annihilated. So a soul cannot be desireless. So one needs to have a desire. So, and materially one can be desireless, but as a intrinsic symptom of spirit soul, he needs to have emotion. Without emotion, there is no question of devotional service. So the so-called affection for family, society, country consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called as devotional service. Atmendriya priti vancha, tare bole kam, Krishnendriya priti icha, dhare premanam. So, whatever we hanker for self, for our own senses, that is considered as calm. And whenever we try to satisfy the senses of the Supreme Lord, then it is pure devotional service or Krishna Prema or Bhakti. So our affections to family, society, country, these are the ones which keep us diverted. We are unable to perform Ananya Bhakti because all our affection, inclination is towards family, society, and nation. So where our false ego on the platform of false ego, it's an extended false ego, as it is said, different phases of gratification. So it's a different phases of false ego, which has extended in the form of attachment and affection for family, society, and country, and things like that. Prahlad Maharaj tells in the Bhagavatam about how the affection of a person in family, how it simply binds him like a silkworm in a cocoon. He is unable to come out of that bondage. Katham priyaya anukampitaya sangam rahasyam ruchiranscha mantran suhrittu suhritsu sat sneha sita shishunam kalaksharanam anurakta chitta. So katham priyaya anukampitaya. So one's wife or lover, she is very merciful. Anukampitaya, sangam rahasyam, in a very secret place, it's very pleasurable to live with the spouse. And then kalaksharanam anurakta chitta. So children, when they speak very lisp, and they speak very, this totally bhasha, they are unable to pronounce words properly. It simply captures the heart of the family man, the Kutumbi, and he's just, entrapped in this material bondage. Then Prahlad says, uh, Putram smaramsta duhitra hridya, Bhratra swasrava pitarau chadino, Grihan manognoru parichadamscha vrittischa kulya pashubhritya vargan. So Putran smaramsta duhitra hridya. And as he ages, he's always thinking about, you know, his sons and daughters. Now his focus is shifted. Earlier it was wife and small children. And once he ages, he loses the attraction to his wife. She is no longer attractive. But the attraction shifts to his grown-up children and daughters. Putram smaram saduhitra hiritya. Then Bhratra swasarva pitarauchadi now. It's also he is attracted towards his brothers and sisters and so many relatives. Grihan manognoru parichadamscha. So he is attracted to all the household paraphernalia that he has, to his wealth, to his opulence. Then Vrittischa Kulya Pashupritya Vargan. He's also attracted to his own, business, enterprise. Then Pashupritya Vargan, to his servants, to animals. Earlier it was Pashu. Now we are attracted to our own cars or, maybe something else. So that way, uh, that actually, completely entraps him. Then Prahlad says, Tyajet koshas kridive hamana karmani lobhat avitripta kama aupasta jaivam bahumanyamana katham virajyeta duranta moha. So it is said that Tyajeta koshas, koshakrit is nothing but the silkworm which is there in the cocoon, the kosha. Tyajeta koshas, how can he give it up? Tyaja, tyaga is tyaja. So Tyajeta koshas kridive hamana, because he is bound by karmani lobhat and avitripta kama. He is completely unsatisfied. He's gone through his entire life. He is in the fag end of his life. But karmani lobhat avitripta kama. The desire has not gone. The greed has not gone. So he is avitripta. Aupasta jaivam bahumanyamana. So he thinks the tongue and the genital is the only goal of life, and I have, achieved it, or yet to achieve, or maybe in the next lifetime I'll continue to achieve. So katam virajyeta duranta moha. So he's completely bound in this illusion, and he is unable to come out. So that kind of, family affection, attraction he has, and he does not. He's it's very difficult for him to come out of it. Kali Yuga, it is a completely a different story. They are not even so much attached to their family like the way Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning. One devotee had actually he recommended me, one documentary. I had seen that documentary. In that, it is about the story of how a person passes away, and a very elderly person, he passes away, and after that they have this week, that is the 13th day, and all family members, they come. This is the real situation in this world, which is very nicely depicted in that. So all the family members come. He has 4 sons. They also come, and when they come, they are like trying to cry, but tears are not coming, and they are embracing, and making sound. They're trying to cry. The mouth is making sound, but the tears are not coming. The same father who took care of them throughout their life, they are unable to shed even a drop of tear for him. And then all these four sons, then immediately within a few seconds, they start talking about, how did you come? You were able to get the ticket, your flight was okay, this, that. And then finally in the evening, they go to the terrace and they lament, and we do work, work. So in his lamentation, here of the soul, let his soul rest in peace, and they all some drink. And not only that, their children, that is their dead person's grandchildren, one of them is having lamenting situation. Children, they're running around, fun, frolic, up and down on the terrace, because they felt like it is some kind of for some Diwali holidays or something like that, unaware of the fact that their grandfather, like a social gathering. So they come, and they are all discussing, you know, how can we trouble the neighbors? Why should they cook? Let us only cook. And immediately, the very same night, they cook. Question of who will take care of the mother? The hundreds of excuses come. Very shallow relation. Worse than what Prahlad Maharaj mentioned. And even for the society, there's so many various societies, so many clubs, Rotary Club, Cycling Club, Laughing Club, so many things are there. So in all these places also, the affection is not there. It is all on the basis of, you know, what is there for me. They want to, like Srila Prabhupada mentions, how Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. So the place of birth is so dear. It is so dear that it is more precious than Swarga. A person may let go going to Swarga because he is so much attached to the place of his birth. So many groups of forms, Vakkaliga Sangha, Gaura Sangha, this Sangha, that Sangha, so many things, because of the background of their birth. And also, as 11th canto speaks about how uh, uh, यस्यात्म बुद्धि कुणपे त्रिधातुके स्वदिक्कलत्रादिषु भौमैज्यदि तीर्थ बुद्धि सलिलेन करिहिचित् जनेषु अभिज्ञेषु स एव गोकरम्. So Bhaumaijyadihi, Bhaumi Ijja, that is the place of birth, the land of birth, is worshipable for me. So they are very attracted to their place of worship, to their place of birth, that they even worship it. So they are considered among, cows and asses. That is how they are described. The affection, the national integrity, which we express, is also on the platform of sense gratification, as Srila Prabhupada mentions here. It is extended false ego. Our initially our ego is first attracted only to the family, then to society, then to others. Then we start thinking about ourselves. Then goes to the. So in reality, we are not. It is an extended false ego where it is only for my own sense gratification. As it is considered. It is not really, affection, a real affection for the nation also. We see so many fights now also Israel and Palestine. They are fighting. India, Pakistan, so many countries they fight among each other. I think war, civilians are killed, women and children are killed. So there is no real uh, compassion, no affection at all. Their understanding is that my land, my people. You are another person, another land, another people. I don't care for you. Like that. Like it is said in the Shastra, I am Nijo, Parovetti, Ganana Lagu Chetasam, Udara Sarvayevaite Vasudevaka Kutumbaka. So I am Nijo, this person is mine, or this land is mine, this family is mine. But Parovetti, that is theirs. They are different. He is different. They are our enemies. They are our friends. So I am Nijo Parovetti. It is considered as Ganana Lagu Chetasam. It is calculated as very narrow-minded mentality. Udara Sarva Evaite Vasudevaka Kutumbakam. But considering everybody as one and the same, as one single family, or everybody belongs to us, then that becomes Vasudevaka Kutumbakam. That is Udara. Udara Bhava is very broad-minded, very Audarya. So that way, a great soul, a pure devotee only can consider, this understanding that everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. When Shanda and Amarka, they ask, when they ask Prahlad Maharaj, they say, they say, get me a Aniyata Marevetram Asmakam Aishaskarah. He's He's bringing infamy to our family. Kulangarasya Durbuddhes. He's a Kulangara. Bring me a stick. I will teach him a lesson. They ask him, who? This is the question they ask. All this. Then Prahlad says, He's obeising to the Supreme Lord. He does not answer them. He says, Para Swash, that is they and us. Shwa means us, Para means another. So that is like enemy and friend, something like that. So Para Swashchet Asat Graha. It is Asat. Pumso yan Maya Krita. It is a Rachana of Maya, Mahamaya. The illusory potency of the Lord is the one which creates this duality of friend, enemy, ours, theirs. We fall in this trap of dualities. So Pumso and Maya Krita, Vimohita Dhyam, it just bewilders a person's mind. Vimohita Dhyam Drishtas. Drishtas means to see. So Prahlad is saying, till now I had heard this from my spiritual master. But now I am seeing it. Till now I had not seen it. I had only theory knowledge, friend and enemy and, ours and theirs, all that. So Vimohita Dhyam Drishtas, now I'm able to see what is it. That's my Bhagavate Nama. Thank you for the practical realization, my Lord. He's paying obeisance. So that was the consciousness of Prahlad. Such a small child, but he was so elevated. He didn't see his friend. He saw everybody equal. He saw his father equal. He saw the Vaishnavas equal. He saw if you consider Duryodhana, he is a million times better human being than current leaders of the world. Because when Ashwatthama killed Duryodhana criticized him. You're such a shameful being. So he was very upset. Duryodhana was very upset. Right? From sunrise to sunset with the glowing of points, challenging them. Equal horse will fight with a person on the horse. Somebody on the chariot will fight with somebody on the chariot. That way, there are so many rules. None of the rules are followed. They are simply, killed, murdered in the middle of the night. So even the targets, like in the Vedic culture, how was the target? If I have to target, if say, let's say Kauravas, 100 hide, if they're hiding in the population, then how can the Pandavas kill them? The Pandavas, they will chant. Ashwathama, he targeted the womb of Uttara. So that was the character of all the great souls. Even, if you take into consideration the Kaurava side, like Karna and others who had Brahmastra, like Ashwathama. Simply chant target. And not, blindly, drop some nuclear bomb and murder everybody. So that way the so-called affection to the country, which is mentioned here, is all false. It is all fake. It is nothing but it is extended false ego. False ego in the form of envy, which is to simply destroy, just to think on the platform of mine and theirs. So that is the understanding which people of the age of Kali Yuga have. So this affection, what is this affection? Real affection, attachment is different, affection is different. Attachment is very much attached to the family, to the country, on the platform of false ego. But affection is something which is related to the heart. Affection means, I care. I love the person. I care for the person. It is very personal and it is, heart to heart relationship. I remember during the temple opening, one devotee came and he embraced me. He embraced me more than 5 to 10 seconds. Generally, it is okay, 1 or 2 seconds, we are able to face the embrace. But I started doubting, why is he embracing me so much? 5, 10 seconds. Actually, he very genuinely he wanted to express his affection. So he held, onto me for a very long time. So then I realized, how, we are not even ready to accept a genuine affection. We are thinking, what is wrong with the other person? Why is he embracing me for a very long time? So if this was done in the West, they would say, hey, I'm straight. They'll say I'm straight. You know what straight is? Because if you, if if two men embrace each other, then it is considered they are homosexual. So people are, they are very careful. They do not want to, come close. They maintain a space. They maintain a distance. They'll say I'm straight. No, you're not straight, my friend. You're crooked, because they don't understand what affection is. They are unable to appreciate, somebody, expressing, their love, who wants to embrace. This is there only in the Vedic culture. You'll hardly find it in the Western countries. So like that, many things, like for several years, there are many terminologies which are used, in today's world, which is, completely demoniac. But they use this just to show that, they also have love, affection, and things like that. For several years, I was receiving uh, mails in my, in my office, in my corporate office, about Pride celebration, Pride festival. I was always ignoring. I was thinking maybe, my company had some, $1 million deal with some client or something like that. So they are celebrating. Later, when I got into the mail, then I came to know that pride is a word which is only related to LGBT. So those, organizations which support, LGBT plus and things like that. So they have coined this word, right? So we have to be, proud that I'm a LGB or T, something like that. So they are very, very expressive about it. So it is not the pride that we see in Bhagavatam, Indra's pride. No, that is gone. Today in Kali Yuga, pride means, I'm proud that I'm LGBT. That's it. So if you ask somebody, Prabhu, you have pride? No, I don't have any pride. I'm a straight person. If somebody may say, I'm a straight person. So that is how they relate. So no longer that the pride which is mentioned in the Shastras is gone. So this is how, slowly the world is changing. They are coining different terminology. It is all propaganda. So many things are going on in this world. A complete propaganda. And there is a term called as it's called as pro-life and pro-choice. You heard about it? Yeah. Anyone knows about it? Pro-life means I am in favor of saving the life. Pro-choice means I am in the favor of it is my body, it is my choice. It is about abortion. So those who are for abortion, they are considered as pro-choice. And those who are against abortion, they are called as pro-life. And it became so heated up, it became so disturbing to the governments that they made a modification to that. They said that, even the pro-choice folks, they are also pro-life only, because it's their life. They have to take care of their life. So, when they're killing, when they're, going through abortion, there's nothing harm in that. So you change your terminology. You cannot call yourself as pro-life. You have to call yourself as anti-choice. So now it is anti-choice and pro-choice. So this is how manipulation happens, only for degradation, something like that.
So like that, many things, go on in this world. So many things are there. So yeah, coming back, yeah, affection, right? So I was expressing about affection, how, affection is, real care, genuine love, very important. So even the Bhagavatam talks about how Ambrish Maharaj says, "Tadbhritya gatra sparshenga sangamam." How do you use the sense of touch? Tadbhritya gatra sparsha anga sangamam. One should embrace and touch the bodies of devotees. That is the way of rendering devotional service, by the sense of touch. Where we are very reserved. We are very restrictive about expressing our affection. We're even scared to hold onto the hand of each other. We can do one small exercise. You can choose your neighboring devotee. You can hold his hand like this in palm. One hand, with your palm you hold the other devotee's palm. Don't be shy. If you are shy, that means you have no affection. Hold one hand with the other person's hand in the palm. Use your other hand to hold either his wrist or the elbow or the shoulder. You understand? I'll just show an example with Vasudev Pran Prabhu. Something like this. See, either this or this or this, like that. What is it? So just hold their hand and just look in their eyes and tell Prabhu or Mataji, I need your prayers and blessings. See, so much of smile is brought to your faces. This is genuine love. This is genuine affection. We don't hold generally. We are like, let me maintain a distance. So we are very scared. Yeah. Yeah. Just like I said, about the experience that I had, a devotee embracing me more than 5-10 seconds is very, we are not ready for it. That means we have empty hearts. We are not, affectionate. So this is the way to hold. Not like, Prabhu, please pray for me. Not like that. Hold him. Hold his hand, wrist or shoulder and, seek, prayers, genuine prayers and genuine affection. Then it will flow. And devotees, after we come to devotee society, if there is no affection, then it is non-different from the external world. We give up material association and we take shelter of the holy name, we take shelter of the devotees, and then we find, if there is duplicitous nature, diplomacy, politics, or scandalizing devotee for some insignificant things, then our bhakti is finished. We are unable to, accept. The Lord is not able to accept it. So, as Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Koti Nati, Nishiddhachar Koti Nati Jiva Himsan Jata Upashakhagan. So, these are all the weeds, duplicitous nature, diplomacy, all this is, they are weeds which destroy our bhakti. Bhakti is completely destroyed. We may go on chanting, but our bhakti is finished already. Externally, it may appear that we are practicing bhakti, but it is finished. Now, why this happens? This happens because there is no fear. There is no fear of, respecting, loving the devotees. It is because there is no proper grounding in philosophy, in understanding of philosophy, that, how respectful we need to be to devotees, how they are very dear to the Supreme Lord, how we cannot disrespect them, how we should care for them, how we should be affectionate to them. It's very important. Or else, the Lord will not appreciate. We will not progress, basically. We will not. Bahu janma jadi kare shravana kirtan tabut na paya. Krishna Pade Premadhan. So that way, the aparad increases. So this duplicitous nature should never be there in our hearts. So we should be genuinely affectionate, and also we should know that when we are dealing with devotees, we don't take panga with them. Taking panga with devotee means you're taking panga with the Supreme Lord Himself. Because as the Shastra says, who is a devotee? Somebody who's chanting the holy name. He is considered aho batashva pachotagaryan jishvagre vartate namatubhyam tepastavase jugu shashnurarya brahmanuchur namagrananti. Even if he's a shvapacha, he's performed all the Vedic rituals in millions of lifetimes. He's gone to all the holy places. He's achieved everything. He is that person, who's taken to the holy names of the Lord. Out of millions and millions of human beings, one becomes a devotee. And that devotee, we should not drive them away. We should have that affectionate relationship. Very important. It is said, like in Lord Kapila's teachings, it comes, Yannamadheyam Shravananu Kirtanad Yapravana Smaranad Apikvachit Shvadopi Sadhya Savanaya Kalpate Punaste Bhagavanno Darshana. Shvadopi Sadhya Savanaya Kalpate. Even if he is coming from a dog-eater family, but he is qualified more than a Yagnik Brahmana. He is qualified more than a devotee. I mean, he is qualified more than a Brahmana. A devotee is more than a Brahmana. He is very dear to the Lord. So one should not, disrespect. Also, it is said, anyone who chants the holy name, what is his glory? What is all the devotees sitting here? What is your glory is mentioned? It is said that anyone who chants even a little holy name, it is said, Go Kotidanam Grahane Khagasya, Prayaga Gangodaka Kalpavasa, Yagyayutam Meru Swarnadanam, Govinda Kirtana Shamam Satamshay. So, anyone who is chanting the holy name, it is considered that Go Kotidanam Grahan, you have given in charity, millions and millions of cows during, eclipse. And then you have given, a mountain of Meru, a mountain of gold like Meru in charity, or you have lived on the banks of Ganga for an entire kalpa of Brahma, and then you have, taken bath in Ganges, something like that. So, a devotee who's chanting the holy name has done all the piety. He's done all of these pieties, and then he comes to devotional service. So we should not, they are very dear to Krishna. So we should be very respectful. We should not, we should have that affectionate relationship with devotees. It is very important. Or else, then it is said, Ayuhu Shriyam Yasho Dharmam Lokan Chashisha Evacha Hanti Sreyamshi Sarvani Gumso Mahadatikrama. So when we offend, then we lose Ayu, Shriya, Yasha, Dharma, Lokancha, Ashisha, all the benedictions that we have got. Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani, everything will be destroyed. It may happen, slowly. You may question, Prabhu, I'm not getting any leprosy. Looks like I'm okay only. No, those who got leprosy, out of lamentation, they took shelter of Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu, scolded them, asked them to go take shelter of the devotees, and they got delivered. But we may not get, but we may lose taste in chanting, reading, hearing. We may be hanging around for several years without developing any taste for chanting. Losing taste in chanting, hearing, reading, all that is worse than leprosy. It is Bhavaruga. Bhavaruga is worse than leprosy. One can never, come out of this situation. So we do not go by external symptoms. So we can easily gauge ourselves on the basis of how much taste we have for chanting, reading, hearing, and things like that. So it's very important that we have that affectionate relationship and not offend devotees. Also, on the other side, it is not that it's a warning for everybody. It's not like that. even the devotee who is experiencing it, he also has to be very mature. He should be like, as Brahma says, Tattenu susamikshamana, Unjane vatmakritam vipakam. We accept it as the reaction of my own karma. The others, if they are causing trouble, a devotee accepts it as they are the agents of my own karma. I get what I deserve. I was supposed to get more, but the Lord has reduced it because, I have started practicing bhakti. So this should be the attitude of a devotee. I deserve more, but I'm getting less. It is the agent of my own karma. So that is how we accept. A devotee's role should be, we should act like a newly wed wife. The goal of a newly wed wife is she enters into a family, her husband's family. And then the husband has his own relatives, his brothers, his sisters, his uncles and aunts, and his mother, father. The wife has to take care of all of them. She may not like it. She has come from a different family. It is already very painful for her to give up her family and come to her husband's family. It is all new. And she has to serve all of them, mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-laws, all the relatives. She may not like, but she has to like them, love them, because it will satisfy my husband. So in the same way, we being the newly wed and our husband, our father, our Supreme Lord Krishna, for his satisfaction, we should tolerate everybody. We should have that loving relationship, that loving affection with all for his satisfaction. We may not like, we are still in dualities, but we should have that affection because it satisfies the Supreme Lord. For his satisfaction, we have to maintain this loving relationship because that is the goal, a newly wed wife. Her goal is, I am concerned of my husband's satisfaction. That's it. If it means I have to take care of everybody else, if it means I have to have good relationship with all, yes, I will do it. The same way, all the jivas, we are all connected to Krishna. So envy of jiva is actually envy of Krishna. It is as simple as that. As Lord Kapila also says that sarva aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma vasthita sada tam avaggyaya mam martya kurte archa vidam. I am, present in everybody's heart. They are all non-different. So their offense or their envy is actually my envy. So the Lord clearly mentions this in the third canto. So that way, a devotee also has to be mature. Those who are experiencing rift or those, who we have to be careful in our dealings with, Vaishnavas by having affectionate relationship. And also, it is mentioned that her affection for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis is not out of the range of devotional service because service of the Lord and the service of the devotees are identical. Sometimes service to the devotee is more valuable than service to the Lord. So we always remember that service to the devotees is more valuable than service to the Lord. Affection to the devotees is actually affection to the Supreme Lord. We don't have to separately endeavor to please Krishna. Simply by pleasing a devotee, one pleases Krishna. And simply by displeasing a devotee, one displeases Krishna. Very simple formula. If anybody who understands this, there is no question of offense. There is no question of offending at all. It's impossible. But we may read, but we forget. So the tendency is to forget, but we should always continuously remind ourselves, of these philosophies. It is said in the scriptures about service to the Vaishnavas. Service to the Vaishnavas is glorified very much. It is said that Archayatvat Govinda तदीयानां न अर्चयेतुः न स भागवतो ज्ञेयो केवलं दाम्भिकं स्मृतम्. Somebody who is worshipping Govinda, but tadiyanam na archayetuya, but they do not care for devotees or do not worship, disrespectful. Then na nasa bhagavata gneya, he is not a devotee. He may be putting tilak and kantimala, but the Shastra is telling he is not a devotee. Kevalam dambhikam smritaha. He is just a proud person. That's it. He is not a devotee. It is said that सिद्धिर भवति वानेति संशय अच्युत सेविना निः संशयस्तु तद्भक्त परिचर्या रतात्मना. So सिद्धिर भवति वानेति, perfection in devotional service, as it is mentioned in the first line, perfection of pure devotional service. Samshaya achyuta sevinam, there is a doubt for a person who is rendering devotional service to Krishna. There is a doubt whether he will attain perfection or not. Niha samshayastu bhakta, but there is no doubt about that person, that devotee, who is parcharya ratatmana, who is always serving another devotee, who is respectful. Tasmad Vishnu prasadaya Vaishnavanam paritoshayet. Prasada sumukho Vishnus teneva syat samshaya. Tasmad Vishnu prasadaya. Therefore, to attain the mercy of Lord Vishnu, Vaishnavanam paritoshayet. One has to satisfy a Vaishnava, please a Vaishnava, have loving relationship with a Vaishnava. That is the only solution. Why? The Lord is saying that. Prasada sumukho Vishnu. The Lord is actually very eager to give prasad. There is no doubt about it. The Lord wants to give mercy, but He is saying, I will give it, but you come like this. By serving, satisfying my devotee, you come, I'll give you, because I'm waiting to give. But I'll hold it back if you don't come through this route, if you come directly to me. So that way, the glorification of Vaishnava Seva is very nicely mentioned in the scriptures. Durabhya alpatapasma seva vaikunta vartmashu. But those who are alpatapasma, less austere, less tolerant, durabha, it is very rare for them to get seva vaikunta vartmashu. They do not get service to Vaishnavas. So we got this opportunity to serve Vaishnavas. We should not simply lose it. So you all have performed austerities and we have come to devotional service. So let's have that loving relationship with each other. And the last statement is very beautiful, where Prabhupada writes that the relationship of the soul to the soul can be established by the via medium of the relationship with the super soul. Our relationship is not skin, it's not skin deep. It is related to the super soul. My relationship with you is because we have the same father. It is not related to, my family, skin disease is not there. And seeing in the darkness is not seeing. But seeing by the light of the sun means seeing the sun also and seeing everything else also. So, seeing in the darkness is compared to material vision, like skin relationship. We are actually not seeing it because it is asat graha. But when we see in the light, when we see Krishna, then we see that everybody is related to Krishna. So that way, we actually in reality, we are able to see. So we see through the sun, that is the Supreme Lord, then we are able to see everything in the right perspective. Very nice statement, That is the way of devotional service. This is pure devotional service. This is how we can attain the mercy of the Lord. So, Tvai me ananya vishaya matir madhupate sakrat. Ratim udbhata datha gange vogam udam. Hare Krishna. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Have any questions you can ask?
Thank you for we have to first out the comfort that only Maharani thinks that she wants to walk up and feel like like that. Actually, what we also hear is that exalted devotees like Maharani, others like Yashoda Mata, they are all eternal associates of Krishna, even the others, but all over the world. So that is the case. Why they see that because they are eternal associates. It is not only the land, but also the world.
Yeah, it is the humility. It is the humility of a devotee who is actually, in fact, the Lord is using them to teach us a lesson. So out of their humility, they speak like that. When Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed, he said, Tasyaiva meghasya paravareshu vyasakta chittasya griheshu abhikshanam nirveda mulo dvijashaparupo yatra prasakto bhayamashuda. Tasyaiva me aghasya. I am the most sinful. Vyasakta chittasya griheshu. I was attached, deeply attached in household. Grihamedi. I was a grihamedi. He was never. Right from his child, in his womb, he could see the Supreme Lord. And when he came out, he was always searching for the Supreme Lord. And in his childhood, he would play with the dolls of the Supreme Lord. He was never attached. But he said, Vyasakta chittasya griheshu abhikshan. I was a grihamedi. I was attached to my household things. Thank you, Krishna. Nirveda mulo dvijashaparupo. You have come in the form of Dvija's shapa. So, yatra prasakto bhayamashudate. Only then, out of fear, I will give up my material attachment. That is why you have shown mercy on me. He had no attachment, but out of humility he was speaking. So in the same way, all the devotees, all the pure devotees, out of humility only they speak like that. In reality, they have no attachment, no skin disease, no whatever. Only Krishna is in center for them. But they are affectionate to their own family members. They are affectionate. There is no doubt about it. We have so many examples like that in Bhagavatam.
Another question I have. You also hear that the role of culture plays one coming up as a keyword, like countries which are in culture, having which is culture or which is not affiliated with culture, they actually usually become keyword. For example, those who are rich in culture, they actually value family. They know what is the affection for mother, right? And also they have affection of society and culture. So this is one understanding. On the other hand, who doesn't have this type of understanding, they are civilized because they don't want what you give an example when you are loved by the partner, you are having a prayer. So similarly, the person was not one to give this affection, how it would be possible for us to understand the love of God? Because the purpose we see that all these affections are I think that my understanding is tempered. It's not better, it's tempered, but having this type of affection going to help us, understanding the love of God. Just wanted to how to understand.
So your question is how others are unfortunate that they do not have this privilege of having this kind of an affection, which is there.
One hand we see that family related affection they are all formed. The other hand, the same family relation, affection to family or that helps because they are able to see what is the affection. That affection can be easily translated to the love of God. So why do we say that it is false? When it is helping, why do we say it is false?
When the affection for the family and country, when it is doubted for Krishna, then they attain perfection. That is what is mentioned in the purport. So the answer is there in the purport. If that is what is your question.
We also say it's all false.
Yeah, because it is asat, because it is not real. Deha patya kalatradeshu atma saineshu asat swapi. Tesham pramatta nidhanam pashyanapi na pashyati. It is temporary. It is false. It is illusion. The bodies that we see, They're all false. They'll all disappear. We all will disappear. The matter will go into matter, but the real person is the soul. So we should be attached. We have to have that affection on the platform of the soul. So we have to always remind ourselves that our relationship is on the platform of the soul, not on the body. That is why, when we look at the family, it is not real. It is asat. It is on the bodily platform. But in relationship to Krishna, yes, we can relate to them, we can show affection because it is soul to soul relation. Soul, super soul, soul. This is the relationship. This is the triangle that we have. So that affection is true. But other things are temporary. It is asat because it is not real. Sat means real. Asat means unreal. It is not real. It is an imaginary display of illusory energy of the Lord. We are seeing things are moving, everybody is moving around. No, this is not reality. After 50 years, we don't see this. Many things have changed because it is temporary. Things change. Things, die away. New things come. Things grow. So it is not real. Hare Krishna. Sorry, can you repeat? I'm not able to hear. Yeah. I think there's a problem with the mic. Yeah. Very rare, correct.
So at that time,
Yes.
the name will be everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about the movement in the future. Yes. So to every town and village, the holy name will spread and everybody will get an opportunity, but not everybody will take it. Not 100% of the population will take to it. There will always be rebellious jivas who will continue to stay back. So the percentage will be small only. That is how it is. Yeah.
Probably, thank you for wonderfully to us and the aspect of important relationship that you mentioned. So while you also mentioned that pleasing the devotees is equal to pleasing the Lord, and displeasing the devotees is also equal to displeasing the Lord. Now, as a devotee, as a sadhaka, this part we understood. But what about the other point, pleasing and displeasing our family, whose part not may not be doing this? Will that be also equal to displeasing the Lord? How do we understand?
Yes, because Bhagavatam says, Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santyushtha yena kenava sarvendri upashantyacha tushyatyashu janardana. If we have to satisfy Janardana, then Dayaya sarva bhuteshu. It is not mentioned Dayaya Vaishnavanam. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu. So a Vaishnava is very merciful to all. What to speak of family members, everybody on the road, animals or whatever it may be. So he is merciful by nature. Merciful means, caring for them, showing our affection and not disrespecting them. At least bare minimum. Excessive compassion like a pure Vaishnava sadhu we may not have, but at least simple things like showing affection and not disrespecting is sufficient enough to, please the Lord. So Bhagavatam says this. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. I have an experience which I would like to share with you. So it was during the time of Corona. So that was the time I personally kept hearing many people, they leave their body and many of them have their family issues. lot of issues within relationships, within their family. So like one thing what I found was like many of them they, as you said, the emotion, the importance of emotions. So most of the time we are taught in schools in college and education system is based on the intelligence quotient. How can we enhance your skills with moving? But when we were kids, we had hours in class. It was just for 1 hour. But then this Bhagavata which we read is the main the model how the it's just more emotional quotient. So what I found was like many of them they have emotions with them. They want to express it. They have a fear of being hurt. Like you have a family member you love them, but the fear that they will leave you, or the fear that you will be separated, or any kind of fear. So the fear holds them back from expressing their emotions. This is one aspect of it. So because of which many of them they don't express their emotions, then they give importance to their knowledge and skills. So it's like, and I don't think like I was hearing Bhagavata how Krishna was expressing his all emotions and how he gave the appreciation of the devotees. So there's the aspect of emotion is so much very important our for the Krishna conscious movement because we are worshiping the supreme personality who is a person who has all the emotions. So, but as you see on the other level, that people try to get against some emotions because of fear. So, like, now, how can they handle this? I mean, I understand fear maybe because of that they won't be satisfied because if your parents or friends are not there. It's basically again for mindset gratification. But how can they come out of it and understand the other aspect of it? Well, it is again emotions, but on the spiritual.
Yeah, good point, Mataji. So in this world, earlier part of the century, it was always considered that all the successful people are the ones who have very good IQ. But later on, in the last recent few decades, it is found that those who have a high EQ, as you mentioned, emotional quotient, they are the ones who are successful, whether it is material or spiritual. Even in our corporate offices, those people, they climb the ladder of career, those who are emotionally mature, not those who are intelligent, because generally those who are intelligent, they are very proud of their skills. So they are very difficult to handle. But those who are mature enough, those who know how to deal, they know how to talk, they know how to express. They may not be very expert in their work or skill or whatever, but they are very expert in how to talk, how to express themselves, how to be compassionate, how to really connect to a person. They are the ones who always climb the career ladder. And it is the same thing even in the spiritual life, where by having we may know hundreds of things in a devotional service, we may be expert in skills, but that will not bring any advancement in a spiritual life. Real spiritual life advancement only comes through emotional maturity. How we deal lovingly, compassionate, with affection. That relationship itself is very pleasing to the Lord. As I mentioned earlier, Krishna is the supreme sentient being. He has emotions in full, and he is very eager. He is like he is hankering for our emotions. As I mentioned, we very hard for somebody. If our parents pass away, it becomes difficult to even shed one drop of tear. That means the heart is empty. We have practiced bhakti, but our hearts are empty because we are unable to cry even when the parents have disappeared. You all can, gauge yourselves. It becomes very difficult. That means we have no affection at all, like that. And if the parents are bedridden, it becomes difficult to clean their stool, urine, for example. Then immediately, home nurse, we want a home nurse who can take care of our parents. When they were cleaning our stool and urine, they didn't engage a home nurse. They were taking care of us because out of love and care. But when it comes, when it is our time, we hesitate. We engage, home nursing to take care of them. Oh, yeah, we show some compassion by engaging the home nurse. That's one thing. But real affection, real care means I will do it for you. Narottam Das Thakur and Ishwar Puri, they didn't engage a home nurse. They personally cleaned, their spiritual masters. So that way, affection and love means, I express, I share, I connect. So that person is actually successful. So if somebody is afraid to, express his emotion, then it is again on the platform of false ego only. Because false ego is one thing which stops a person from expressing himself. He is afraid of either rejection, he is afraid of, being shy that the other person will come to know, oh, I'm so emotional or whatever. So that way he may have his own speculation. So we may fail to express ourselves. That's all because of our own false ego. Because of our own false ego, a person, commits suicide, he goes into depression, or he hurts another. It's all on the platform of false ego. So one has to overcome false ego, one has to express. We can learn this quality from Lord Ramachandra. So Lord Ramachandra is called as Purva Bhashi. Purva Bhashi means he is the first to greet. Like, we say Hare Krishna, right? So if a devotee is coming by, I know him. Okay. Only if he says Hare Krishna, then I will greet him Hare Krishna. No, that is not the attitude of it. Doesn't matter. I will be the first to greet him. I will make him satisfied. He feels happy then. He will also greet. Purva Bhashi means be first. Be first in expressing your, emotions. Be first in expressing your love and affection to others. That much I can tell. I hope it helps. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
You can take one last. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. I have a question. Basically, this out of my interest. So, this I beg for your forgiveness on the last forgiveness. Basically, I know my friend is trying to understand the text. So you told us that we need to serve us. So I would like to understand the Vaishnava over here. Is it a person who is being initiated, or is it a person who is still in the process or trying to understand chanting the holy names? I would like to understand that.
Yeah. This question was asked to Lord Chaitanya also. Who is the Vaishnava? So Lord Chaitanya first said, anybody who chants the holy name once is a Vaishnava. And again, digging a little deeper, he asked, please, elaborate. Then he mentioned that anybody who is constantly chanting the holy name is a Vaishnava. And more further, digging, then Mahaprabhu said, anyone who induces others also to chant the holy name, he is also a Vaishnava. So like that, Vaishnava is a worshipper of the Supreme Lord, but there are different stages, different levels. So anybody who's chanting the holy name, doesn't matter initiated or non-initiated, one should consider them as Vaishnavas. So we can serve anyone who's chanting the holy name of the Lord, because the Lord will accept bhoga offering from anyone who chants the holy name. That means when the Lord is accepting, is because he is a devotee. So that is why the Lord is accepting. That is a condition. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Let us all thank His Grace Ashoka Prabhu and His Grace Sevaya. We have really had a chat class on the first floor. So it is explicitly wonderful class. The Lord chanting was like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. We have two special sponsors today. We have Suni Gaura, who was sponsored because his parents, Sri Gaura and Sri Jula. They are seeking prayers, and also we have who sponsored. Thank you, Prashadam, on behalf of Amin's birthday. So both the devotees are seeking prayers for let us all. That Chaudhary and once Hare Krishna Mantra. So we all know Bhadra Purnima is starting Sunday, 15th October. Has started. So from ICC, from our temple, we have distributed around 475 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. This is not only in one language. It is in Kannada, English, Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Bengali, Marathi, Malayalam, and Oriya also.
Hare Krishna. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಕಳೆದಂತಹ ಭಾಗವತಪೂರ್ಣಿ 15th October ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಭಕ್ತರೆಲ್ಲ 475 ಶ್ರೀಮದ್ ಭಾಗವತಂ ಬುಕ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇವಲ ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್, ತಮಿಳು, ತೆಲುಗು, ಹಿಂದಿ, ಬೆಂಗಾಲಿ, ಮರಾಠಿ, ಮಲಯಾಳಂ ಮತ್ತು ಒರಿಯಾ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಶ್ರೀಮದ್ ಭಾಗವತಂ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಭಕ್ತರ ಹೆಸರುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಜಗನ್ಮೋಹನ್ ಗೋಪಾಲ್, ಸಾಂಬಾರ್, ವಿಮಯ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ, ಜಗನ್ಮೋಹನ್, Ram Govind and ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆದಂತಹ ನಗರ ಚೈತನ್ಯ.
We also have Ashok Narayan Prabhu also as distributor.
Ashok Narayan Prabhu.
Quick other announcements. With it. Jagan Mohan. So, for all this to happen, there is one Sutradhara who has to facilitate, ensure all this happens behind the scenes flawlessly. So, we have His Grace Rukmini Prabhu, who has been doing this tireless job. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And Prabhu will not stop on this end for sure.
So, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೆಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಭಾಗವತಂ ಸೆಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಕಳಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ His Grace Rukmini Prabhu ಕೂಡ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ
for the Janmashtami donors, those who have not yet collected Prasadam, they are requested to collect it from the accounts department along with their receipts today.
ಜನ್ಮಾಷ್ಟಮಿ ಸೇವೆಗೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಡೊನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅವರು ಯಾರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಸಾದ ಡ್ರೈ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವು ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಈ ಸುಧಾಮಠ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರ ಹತ್ತಿರದಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಸೀದ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರಸಾದನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್.
And Geetamrita classes as always every Sunday evening they are happening. So please, please ensure your near and dear ones are participating in this.
ಪ್ರತಿ ಭಾನುವಾರ ಸಂಜೆ ಗೀತಾಮೃತ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೆರೆಹೊರೆಯನ್ನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ.
The first day of Kartik month is starting on 28th October, that's a Saturday.
So ಬರುವ ಶನಿವಾರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 28ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು 28 ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ ಶನಿವಾರ ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ ಮಾಸದ ಮೊದಲನೇ ದಿವಸ ಆರಂಭವಾಗಿದೆ.
Other important announcement, we have seen children moving around during the Bhagavatam classes. So it's a request for the parents to ensure that, and it is not an etiquette to the speaker, to the Vyasasam also. So request to the parents, they somehow take care of the children, they don't move around while the class is happening. The option that we have is, I mean, there is one parent who already is doing that. The father will sit below, and we have this option of Zoom sessions also happening, which are being live streamed. So mother and father can take chances with the children. So this ensures that it doesn't disturb the speaker, the hearer also, and it is not an etiquette for the answers much.
ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿನಂತಿ, ಭಾಗವತ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೆಯುವಾಗ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೋಷಕರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿನಂತಿ ಎಂದರೆ ಭಾಗವತ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೆಯುವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜೂಮ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ತಂದೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಾರಿ ಅಥವಾ ತಾಯಿ ಈ ತರ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆದಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗವತ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೆಯುವಾಗ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡದ ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ.
Those devotees who are staying in the vicinity of the temple, near the temple, this announcement specific for the devotees who are staying near the vicinity of near the temple. Narayana Chatran Prabhu will be addressing them. Others also can be seated, but the specific announcement, this addresses for those devotees who are staying near the temple.
ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಭಕ್ತರು, ನೆರೆಹೊರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಭಕ್ತರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So those who have sponsored Prasadam, Prabhuji, if you can collect the Mahaprasadam and Prasanna Sompade.
In National Government has first of all fundamentally spoken about love and care between devotees. Now